Hello students. In the previous video, we have studied about lightning and its history. And in today's video, we are going to discuss about charging by rubbing, that is known as friction. Some objects can be charged by rubbing with other objects. When objects are rubbed, their charges become active and they attract light objects like pieces of paper. This process is known as charging by rubbing or friction. So when we rub any object with another substance or object, the first one as well as the second one, both of them get charged. Their charges become active and they get charged with opposite charges. So this process is known as charging by rubbing or friction. So generally all objects are having charges which are in static form, that is at rest form. And when these objects are being rubbed, they get charged or their charges become active. For example, a plastic refill, a scale or comb, when rubbed with dry hair, paper or polythene gets charged and attracts pieces of paper. So when we rub any plastic comb, scale or refill with dry hair, then it gets charged and it can easily attract light pieces of paper. So in the picture you are easily able to see that in the first picture it is shown charging by rubbing with woolen cloth, and in the second and third picture you are easily seeing that light paper pieces get attracted with comb and plastic refill, plastic scale. The objects which acquire small electric charges are known as charged objects. So here your comb and scale, they have become charged and they can easily attract uncharged object, which is paper. The charges acquired by rubbing are static charges. So since these charges become active but they are not moving from one point to another point, they are at rest position. So these are known as static charges, that is charges at rest. They do not move. When charges move, then it is known as electric current. So this is the difference. Static charges do not move, and when charges start moving, then it constitutes an electric current. So electric current is the motion of charges through a conductor or any metal. So I hope up to here you might have understood. That is how we can charge an object by rubbing or friction. Now there are different types of charges. So in this slide we will be studying types of charges and their interaction. That is how they interact with each other. So there are two types of charges: positive charge denoted by plus sign and negative charge denoted by negative sign, minus sign. Two charged bodies may attract or repel each other. So when charges are there on bodies, their interaction may be either of attraction or repulsion. Next is like or similar charges repel each other, and unlike or dissimilar charges attract each other. So here same charges, for example plus plus or minus minus, they repel each other. That is, they move away from each other. On the other hand, unlike charges like plus, minus, they attract each other means they come towards each other. So here in the diagram you can easily see repulsion of charges and attraction of charges. In the repulsion, they are moving away from each other, and in the attraction, plus and minus charge, they are coming towards each other. In the same way, these balloons, repulsion when they are having same charges moving away from each other, and attraction when they are having different charges. So here one activity is shown, that is how charges interact with each other. So we can inflate two balloons and then we can hang them. Rub both the balloons with a woolen cloth and release them. What do you observe? So here we have rubbed the balloons with woolen cloth, both the balloons. In the second figure, you are seeing that they are moving away from each other. Why they are moving away from each other? Because both the balloons are rubbed with woolen cloths. So, they have acquired the same charge and similar charges repel each other. So, a charged balloon repelled to another charged balloon because both the balloons acquired same charge and similar charges repel each other. So in these slides we are going to study some activities depicting the nature of charges. So first characteristic is like charges repel each other. So here we can perform an activity. Inflate two balloons and hang them in such a way that they do not touch each other. Rub both the balloons with a piece of woolen cloth and release them. They repel each other. So why they are repelling each other? Because we have rubbed the balloons with the same material, that is woolen cloth. So they have acquired similar kind of charge. So similar charges repel each other. That's why these balloons are repelling each other. That is, they are moving away from each other. Another activity you can see, rub a plastic refill with polythene and place it in a glass tumbler. Rub another plastic refill with polythene and bring it near the charged refill. Again they repel each other. So why they repel each other? Because both the plastic refills are being rubbed with same polythene. So similar kind of charges are acquired by both the refills. So same charges repel each other. That's why these refills are repelling each other. So I hope now you might have understood that like charges repel each other. Positive, positive repelling and negative, negative repelling each other. Now second characteristic of charges we will see here. Unlike charges attract each other. In this activity, we are charging a plastic refill by rubbing with polythene and keep it in a glass tumbler. Charge an inflated balloon by rubbing with a piece of woolen cloth and bring it near the charged plastic refill. They attract each other. They get charged with opposite charges. Means we have rubbed balloon with a woolen cloth and refill with a polythene. Means both the things are being rubbed or charged with different materials. Balloon with woolen cloth and refill with polythene. So since rubbing materials are different, balloon and refill have acquired opposite kind of charges. That's why they are attracting each other. So this activity shows that different charges or unlike charges attract each other. Now third characteristic is charges acquired by different objects are different. So here by convention you can see that a glass rod rubbed with silk always gets positively charged because in the frictional series glass rod is placed at the higher position. That's why it is getting, and silk is lower to glass rod. That's why in the frictional order series, the materials which are placed higher, they get positive charges. So glass rod when rubbed with silk, it gets positively charged. On the other hand, a plastic rod rubbed with fur gets negatively charged. So in the frictional order series, the fur is placed at the higher position and plastic rod is placed at the lower position. So in that series, the items which are at lower position, they get negatively charged. And the items which are at higher position, they get positively charged. So plastic rod when rubbed with fur gets negatively charged. The electrical charges produced by rubbing are static. So this always we should remember that rubbing produces static charges. They do not move by themselves. They are at rest position. And when charges start moving, then they constitute an electric current. So here in the diagrams also you can easily see that like charges repelling each other and unlike charges attracting each other. And also it is shown that glass rod when rubbed with silk gets positively charged and plastic rod when rubbed with fur gets negatively charged. Okay students, so up to here we have studied types of charges, their interaction, whether they are attracting or repelling, and characteristics of charges. So in the next video, we will be studying about transfer of charge and the instrument which is used to test whether an object is charged or not. So till then, take care. Bye bye. See you in the next video. Thank you. Have a nice day.